Well, hello everybody and welcome to Trailer Park County. I am Randy Crowan. I am your host, and you know why we're here tonight. We are here tonight because it is time for the 5th season, Trailer Park County, the Real Housewives. Oh yeah, it's time to put that all together because it is the Real Housewives of Trailer Park County reunion show. And I know you have been waiting 6 weeks since our series ended to bring those housewives out again and find out what's going on now and how all of those issues that came up during the season have been resolved, or have they? What are we in for tonight? I'm here at the beautiful Adirondack Fire Pit in beautiful Trailer Park County, and you are our fantastic audience. Thank you for being there. It's awesome to see you. I know Karen is out there. I know Valerie is out there. And I know Auspex 1980 is out there. Happy day. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. All right. Now, before we bring the housewives out and we get the show started, before we start taping, let me just remind everybody that, as you know, the whole first section of the show is interviews with the housewives, one-on-one. We get to dig a little deeper and find out a little bit about them, maybe some information that didn't quite come out in the show. So I have a couple of questions that I'm going to ask them, but of course, we really want to know your questions. We want you to ask questions to our housewives when they get out here. So let's make sure that everybody is able to ask the questions they want to ask. If you want to ask questions to our housewives tonight, you are going to need to log into your YouTube account, because we are going to look at your questions that come in through the YouTube chat, and that's how we'll know what questions to ask to our housewives. So just to get the ball rolling, to get a little bit of practice asking questions before we start taping, I'm gonna open up the book that is Randy Crowan, and I'm gonna let you ask Randy some questions. So if you have a question, anything at all, doesn't matter how personal it is, you go ahead and type that question into your YouTube chat, and I will answer your questions. And this is how we are going to find out what's living in the hearts of our housewives tonight. I'll take this time to mention, as you're thinking of some questions for me and popping them up into the YouTube chat there, I will take this time to mention that our show is sponsored by Synergy Theater. Synergy Theater is an improvisational theater company, and they perform live improvisational theater every Thursday at 6:00 p.m. and Friday at 7:00 p.m. And they do that through Zoom on YouTube and Facebook. So if you have nothing to do on a Friday night at 7:00 and we're not having a reunion special, then why don't you just go ahead and tune into Synergy Theater? They would love to see you. All right. I am not seeing any questions pop up on our YouTube chat. Here they come. Here they come. All right. Randy, which aftershave do you like on Fridays? That question comes from Valerie. Thank you, Valerie, for asking. The answer is it's a special aftershave that was made just for me, and it's called Le Foie Le Poton, and that is French for a little bit of mystery. So thank you very much for asking. Lynn Shields is wondering, how long have you been having an affair with Chastity? Well, all right, I'll admit it. Chastity and I are a recent item, but that's certainly not going to get into the way of the show tonight. Let's see, which housewife has had the most husbands? Now, that's an excellent question, and I think that's a question that we might leave for the housewives. All right, it seems like everybody has a good idea of how you're going to ask those questions. So when I introduce them, then that's going to be your job, to give us some questions that we can funnel over to the housewives. Let's see, Karen Harrell wants to know, Randy, how does this job compare to your last job as an astronaut? Well, this job has some security. That last job as an astronaut had lots of ups and downs to it. All right, well, enough of that. My friends, I think it is time to start our show. So if you're in the audience, I need you just to sit back and relax, because here we go. Well, all right, and we are here and we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Real Housewives of Trailer Park County 5th season reunion show, part 1. It is beautiful day out here in Trailer Park County. I'm sitting at the beautiful Adirondack Fire Pit, which is our gathering place for our reunion specials, and it is time to meet our housewives. You know them and you love them. We're going to meet them one at a time in order to give them a chance to say hello and for us to catch up with them. Why don't we start by bringing Roxy out here? Roxy, bend over. Hello, Roxy, darling. You look amazing.
Oh, you always say that.
Well,
you.
You always look amazing. It's nice to see you too. What have you been doing for the past 6 weeks since we have wrapped up the season?
What haven't I been doing, Randy? It's so busy around here. I've been having to remodel the whole place. You like our new chair? Huh?
It's beautiful. I was just noticing the primary colors. I love it.
Yes. So that's mainly what I've been doing, is just working on the place,
Now, Roxy, unlike the other housewives in the season here, you actually have roots here in the trailer park that go back some time. You are 3rd generation trailer park. Why don't you tell us all about some of the legacy of the matriarch who started it all and still kind of heads your clan?
I love talking about this. Thank you, Randy. It was my great grandmother who actually started trailer parks in our country of Sweden. That's where we're from, as you can probably tell by my natural blonde hair. And then my grandmother actually started this place, and it's been passed down from female daughter to daughter, and now I have it, and I'm so happy.
And we are so too. Karen Harrell wants to know, Roxy, who do you see as your role model for fashion and lifestyle?
Gosh, that's a hard one. Well, you know who comes to mind, and I just have to say it, Dolly Parton.
I see that.
I love her music. I love who she is as a person. And, she's just down to earth like me, just regular old gal.
Now, Roxy, even though you have roots here in the trailer park and you're going to be born and die trailer park, There was that 2-year period you decided to venture off the trailer park, and we know that resulted in some trouble for you. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about what drove you to leave, what happened, and why you came back?
All right. Frankly, not my favorite subject, as you know, Randy, but I went to Windy Brook. In fact, it was there I actually met DeLorean Gray.
DeLorean Gray.
And unfortunately, I'm sure you know this by now, DeLorean is a kleptomaniac. And okay, we were thrown in prison after she did her thing. I was totally innocent.
DeLorean Gray roped you into one of her kleptomaniac sprees, and the two of you ended up in jail.
Exactly.
Well, I know some of our
We laugh
audience,
about it now, Randy. We laugh.
some of the audience might have some questions about your time in jail. If any of them pop up, then I'll ask them. But in the meantime, I want to talk a little bit about this friendship between you and DeLorean Gray. It started off in that strange situation in which you were in prison together. And then after DeLorean moved to the trailer park with you, things got really strained between you. Tell us what happened there.
Well, it was a time of my life when I was very confused. I didn't know who I was. And I briefly thought I was in love with DeLorean. And well, she thought she was in love with me. And well, it was a nasty breakup.
She betrayed you, didn't she?
Yes, she did. With the man who was to become her husband. That creep. You know, Randy, I love DeLorean.
Oh, well,
I may need a break. I'm not sure.
that's fine. In fact, I think DeLorean is ready to come on out here, so why don't we avoid any sparks right now? Roxy, why don't you go to the trailer and fix your makeup? Not that it needs any. And why don't we bring out DeLorean? DeLorean Gray, my friends. Well, hello, DeLorean.
Randy, you look fabulous, darling.
Well, I am a dull planet next to a shining sun like you.
Stop.
DeLorean, well, you know, we were just talking to Roxy and we couldn't help but talk about the history together. So why don't we talk about that night in prison between you and Roxy when the romance first began? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I can, and I'm embarrassed that you even brought it up because I do want to clarify one thing. I am not a kleptomaniac. I simply take what I believe is mine. Now, when we got caught and thrown in jail, it was a huge mistake. We had gone into the Safeway store at Windy Brook and we were sampling a rotisserie chicken, the whole chicken. I needed to test it. I didn't think that the wings and the legs were going to taste the same as the breast meat. So she and I tested the rotisserie chicken outside at the picnic tables that they have outside. I didn't think I needed to pay for them because they say free samples all the time. Well, we got thrown in jail for that. Roxy, though, she was so sweet about it. While we were in jail, there was some other people there, some other women that found me very attractive. I don't know why. I just am attractive to everybody. It doesn't matter who it is. And so these women found me attractive, and Roxy decided that she would be my protector because I didn't like them making all these advances at me because I didn't look good having just been thrown in jail. Everything was just off. My makeup, my hair. I just didn't feel right about myself at that moment. And if people are going to be attracted to you, you want them to be attracted to you when you're looking your best.
There it was, late at night. The moon was shining in through the rusted bars of the cell window. The cockroaches had scampered out of the way of your footfall as you approached Roxy. Pick it up from there.
Well, the light coming through the cell bars, the moonlight highlighted me so beautifully that Roxy couldn't help herself but reach out to me and pull me near her. We were going to kiss as friends on the lips for a prolonged period of time. And it's mostly because our lips get stuck together. And I don't know, I think she fell in love with me in that moment. I didn't want to hurt her feelings. So I told her that I loved her. I left off the part about just as a friend because I didn't want her to be upset.
But after you got sprung from prison, you moved here to the trailer park with her.
Yes, I did move with her because I felt sorry for her. I felt like here she had done this lovely thing for me. And I honestly, I think in my heart of hearts, I was a little bit in love with her. So I followed her to find out what that was going to be like.
You
And
betrayed her eventually.
Randy, why do you have to bring it up that way? I don't use. Why? Why do you have to do that right now?
Well, DeLorean, I'm sorry. I just thought that we might as well jump to the heart of the issue. If anyone in our audience has a question for DeLorean about her time in prison, her time in Windy Brook before she moved here to the trailer park, or her relationship with anybody, it could be her relationship with Roxy, or it could be her relationship with the man that she went on to marry. Just pop that question into the chat and I'll be sure to ask it. But in the meantime, DeLorean, where do you stand now with Roxy?
Well, I love her. I do, Randy, and don't just edit that part out. I don't want her to know that.
Well, we're getting some questions from the audience. Heather Adams is asking, are you really still in love with Roxy? Really?
Yes, I am really in love with her. I am.
And Karen Harrell wants to know, DeLorean, what did you discover about yourself during your time in prison?
Well, I think it was the first time as a woman that I discovered what that was really like. Women were all over me as if pheromones were just part of my essence, my being, and I embraced it to its fullest. And it was the first time that I just looked at all these women and I thought, this is where I belong. Not in jail, just with these women. And Roxy embodied that for me.
All right. Well, DeLorean, we will see what happens when you and Roxy get back together. Who knows? Maybe Cupid still has one more arrow in that quiver of his.
Well, let me just say this one thing. I think it's just that she went on and on like that about me, and we were on live TV, and so I want it edited, okay?
All right. Well, I do have to admonish you to watch your language. We will have to mute out any vulgarity. All right. DeLorean Gray, it is so awesome to see you again. So awesome that you're here. Why don't you go take a little break before we bring everyone out together? And now, my friends, let's say hello to Gloretta Chantel. Gloretta Chantel, hello, sweetheart. My goodness, you're ravishing.
Oh, Randy, you don't look so bad yourself.
Well, thank you very much. That means a lot coming from you. Gloretta, what have you been doing since the season wrapped?
I have actually been working on something really exciting, Randy. I have started a cottage industry business based on my skills of jewelry making.
Well, how's it going?
I've got a new line coming out in a few months, and hopefully in this coming up season we can profile that new line of jewelry.
I don't suppose that beautiful necklace you're wearing right now is one of your own creations.
It is indeed, and so is my ring.
Well, it's absolutely beautiful. Now I see all of those gorgeous colors and the craftsmanship. Is there some meaning, some message behind the colors and the way that all of them are arranged?
Well, each color represents a moment in my life. And for example, the large red rubies that you see, which are all natural zirconium rubies, those represent my growing, budding womanhood in all of its many dimensions. And the gold pieces represent my passion for making money. The blue, oh, should I stop?
Well, no, that's all right. It's just that we do have a question that has come in from Valerie, and I was going to bring us here in a moment anyway, because you know what we like to do? We like to confront issues right up front here on the show. So Valerie wants to know, Gloretta, who do you think spray painted their fake on your trailer?
Well, Randy, I'm surprised that we're going to bring this up on live television. But you know, after what happened with Chastity and I'm sure that it was her.
Why don't you remind us what happened with Chastity and you?
Well, it goes back to the first part of the season when I was introducing her to Roger, my husband, and I thought that she came on just a little too strong. And for example, when she was meeting him, she put her hand out and touched his shoulder, but lingered there for just a few moments too long. Well, I confronted her as any wife would do. And I said, Chastity, you need to check yourself. You need to think about boundaries. Well, that's where it all started.
And just one follow-up question. When she spray painted their fake on your trailer, what do you think she was referring to?
Randy, I'm sure it has nothing to do with my physical realness. For example, my large bosom and my full lips, which are all natural. I'm sure that she was referring to my rubies.
Loretta, we have one more question from Karen Harrell from Martinez, California. Karen wants to know, Loretta, what is your birthstone and how does it represent your personality?
Oh, Karen, you know, I've been to Martinez. I'm so sorry that you live there. But my birthstone is blue. It's a topaz, and it represents my depth of perception.
Well, we are excited to see how that depth of perception might help you navigate the murky waters of your relationship with Chastity and your husband tonight. Thank you so much, Loretta. I can't wait to bring you all back out here with everybody else. And now, why don't we meet Chastity Monaco? Chastity, come on out here and say hello to the audience. Hello, Chastity. My goodness, you are ravishing.
Oh, Randy, that purple looks fabulous on you.
Well, thank you very much. Chastity, it's already come up. I'm not sure if you were watching from the trailer, but it's already come up that perhaps you were a little bit intimate with Roger, and maybe that's why Gloretta accuses you of spray painting their fake on her trailer. Let's cut to that issue right away. Were you the one who spray painted their fake on her trailer?
Randy, do you actually believe that I would do such a thing?
Yes, I do.
I would never do such a thing like that. If I were to do such a thing like that, I would, of course, be referring to her physical appearance.
And what part of her physical appearance were you not referring to since you didn't do it?
Well, since I didn't do it, we can discuss freely. The part of her anatomy that changed since the last season and this season,
It's fairly obvious, isn't it? Chastity, just how far did this thing with you and her husband Roger go?
I am a poor individual woman where people assume that because I have a flirty, charming personality, everyone assumes that I am after their husbands, when I can't help it if they like to spend time with me and fawn all over me. Well, out to dinner.
As a matter of fact, Karen Harrell from Martinez, California has a question for you. She says, Chastity, you said during the season that you were a huge fan of free love. What does free love mean to you?
Free love to me means there are no boundaries or walls between our souls and bodies as people, obviously. It's a sharing of our experiences together.
And where does your relationship with Gloretta stand now?
Icy, I'd say. I did try to send her brownies that I microwaved specifically for her last week, and she refused them. She left them outside of her door and let a neighbor dog poop on it.
All right, Chastity, we have one more question for you. Comes from Heather Adams, and Heather Adams is asking, Chastity, what was your favorite moment of the season that none of us ever got to see?
It's so unfortunate. I love that moment when DeLorean and I were bonding over over Gloretta's physical change. We were painting each other's nails and laughing with mimosas out by the little lake that goes by our trailer park. And we had this moment of connection where our free love souls, I felt, really shone together.
That's beautiful. Well, there's so much love and yet so much turmoil as well. I say it's time we bring all these ladies back together again here at the Adirondack Fire Pit in Trailer Park County. So come on, housewives, come on out and say hello to each other. You haven't seen each other in 6 weeks.
Kiss, kiss, girl. So good to see you.
Good to see you too, honey.
Hi, Roxy. Hi, DeLorean.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, DeLorean.
Roxy. Chastity, you lying.
Oh, if there's a liar on this show, we know who that is.
Oh, come on, don't start. Okay, Chastity, just don't.
I didn't start it. I didn't start
Just
it.
don't. We promised each other in the trailer that we were going to have a pleasant reunion. So let's just get to it.
Yeah. In fact, ladies, we have a question from Karen Harrell again. She's directing this question to Chastity. Chastity, after the season, you were very active on social media saying that you were the only honest one. What did you mean by that? And please be specific.
Obviously, I'm the only person who consistently tells the truth. DeLorean, for example, I love you, DeLorean. I do, but you can't trust a single word that comes out of her mouth. She lies about what she's wearing, where she got it from. Gloretta obviously lies about her appearance.
Oh,
And Roxy, lies about her previous relationships.
what do you mean? I don't lie about anything.
That is such.
I am a star now. I'm in local commercials with Bob Rohrman's automobile dealership, which is the honest truth. I have to be
Unlike Bob
honest.
Norman.
Right. We know how you got that job, Chastity.
I slept with Bob Rohrman, and I am proud to admit it.
Oh.
But it's not really so free, is it? You have your prize.
You know, Chastity, if anybody has the wrong name, it's you, baby.
Good one, Gloretta.
I've been thinking that all season.
You don't need to bring up the name my poor dead mother, God rest her soul, gave me, dying, giving birth to me.
Pretend you didn't change it last year, Chastity.
Just because I'm new to the show as of last season doesn't mean you can't respect my life choices.
Well, as a matter of fact, Chastity, your life choices are the heart of this first clip we're going to show. You don't know this, Chastity, but there was that time where you were seducing Roger, Gloretta's husband. We don't have Roger on the clip, but we do have that close-up of you as you were talking to Roger just before you finally succeeded in bringing him into your trailer. Why don't we cut and let's roll that clip of Chastity talking to Roger.
we finally have a moment alone, and I wanted to show my appreciation for those cupcakes you brought over at the trailer park meeting last week. Oh, I caught your eye. You seem so underappreciated. No one spends time on your jewels, do they? No, Gloretta spends all of her time on her own precious jewels, but not your precious jewels, huh?
Well, wasn't that exactly right? Why don't we just open up again the wide angle shot of everybody here sitting around the Adirondack fireplace. Gloretta, I know you never quite saw that before, but what do you have to say to Chastity now?
I wasn't going to bring this up, Chastity, but I want to ask you a question. And this is going to bring out the truth, Roger. Last year at the Trailer Park annual potluck, you shared with me a recipe for corn chowder salad. And you said it was your mama's recipe and she taught you how to make it. So Chastity, who's telling the truth?
About what was the alternative truth?
The alternative being that your mother died in childbirth, which clearly is a lie.
It was my orphan mother who had a recipe, of course. I've had many mothers, Gloretta, many mothers. I'm like Marilyn Monroe, from orphanage to orphanage.
Well, Chastity, you have just crossed one line too many. You know that Roger does have problems with his jewels, as you call them. And so, yes, it's been a while, but did you have to call it out? Did you have to go there?
Somebody
Really?
had to call it out and go there. His jewels were not being appreciated. And let me tell you, I didn't think that was going to air because I didn't think I was being followed. But his jewels were appreciated.
Ladies, we have this energy here is reminding me suddenly of that horrible moment during the season where Gloretta, you marched into Chastity's trailer just after Roger had snuck out the back window and you lit into each other. Before we go to that clip, just a quick question from Sean Hansen. Gloretta, who is the doctor who does your lip injections and are they accepting new patients?
I go to Dr. Mansion, and he is a dental prosthetic beauty specialist. Now, these lips are real, Mr. Sean or whatever.
Speaking of real, why don't we see if we can cue up that clip? This is Gloretta marching into Chastity's trailer just after Roger snuck out the back. Chastity's caught in the act, and Gloretta was real mad.
You were fantastic. Really fantastic. Oh, you should wipe that lipstick up.
Excuse me. Roger! Roger!
Go!
Roger,
Go! He was
Roger,
just no. He was just teaching me aerobics.
Just a minute. Let me have a word with my husband. Chastity, how dare you offer him pastries in your private kitchen? Roger, you know that you had enough pastries this morning. Now you get home, put your pants on, and I will talk to you later. Chastity, how dare you? How dare you?
Maybe a man just needs more pastries. Have you ever considered that you are unfulfilling in the pastry department?
Chastity, in the words of Paula Deen, the world can be a cruel and spicy place. And you are about to step into the kitchen of hell. If you step one step closer to my husband, Roger, I will up.
Oh, you're going to call on Mama Dean. Well, in Mama Dean's name, yourself.
I'll have you know that Paula and I are friends. We are like this. And we share butter recipes. And I will tell you one thing. You are a...
Just because I believe in love, making your husband happy for you. You're welcome. You're for not caring.
I'm about to slap you. You have no respect for the sanctity of marriage. It is an institution that Raja and I believe in deeply. And if he transgressed and went beyond the borders of our marriage, it is only because of your evil, devilish, seductress ways.
Well, I have an apple here for you.
Well, I see the serpent behind your head, Miss Chastity.
Well. All right, all right. Hopefully we will be able to resolve some of these feelings as we bring our wide shot outback. Meanwhile, Roxy and DeLorean, those two aren't the only ones who've had their share of shocking fights in a trailer when one walked in on the other at the wrong time. Isn't that true, you two?
Yes,
Yes, it is.
it's true.
In fact, the scene between you two was wild. Before we go to that clip, I happen to have that clip of DeLorean walking in on Roxy, only to discover that Roxy was with a man. Oh no, it was the other way around, wasn't it? I'm so sorry. I'm getting a little confused now because it was so raucous. But the one of you walked in on the other to find they were with a man in betrayal of your love pact. So let's take a look at that clip. As we're queuing up that clip, Chastity, we have a question for you, and that is Arastu Durakshan wants to know, Chastity, are you now single and ready to mingle with someone new?
I'm always ready to mingle. Free love, baby. Besides with you, Randy, of course.
Well, Chastity, why don't you stay here and you can talk to Arastu for a little bit. Meanwhile, we're queuing up that scene between DeLorean and Roxy. Let's see it.
Roxy, you know
They're
that
in the bathroom. Gosh. Right.
I just had to have a moment. I needed to be with a man because I need to understand what these feelings are. You need to understand that I've never been in love with a woman before, except for maybe 5 times in my entire life.
Do you think I had? You were the one who wanted to kiss in the cell. And that
You were my
keys.
you
And
were my,
then you go to with a man.
I think that prison is an ollie oxen free location, and that what happens in prison stays in prison.
But you followed me here, and you certainly didn't stay in prison.
I followed you here to follow my heart. I know that now. But I'm embarrassed. What will people say? What will people think about me? Look at me.
You're truly gorgeous. They'll just think you have excellent taste in women. You've broken my heart.
I don't think society can handle us, Roxy.
So you're going to be with that awful man instead of this?
It's the FedEx man, and it's just a test run.
So it's all about his package, is that it?
Of course it is.
Yes. All about his package. Well, clearly we had our share of strife and fights during the season, but it seemed to get worse from there. In fact, Chastity, Sean Hansen seems to know a little bit. He must have been reading some of the fan magazines because he knows what's going on. And he asks Chastity, have you hooked up with any of the other housewives sharing free love? I think we all know the answer is yes. Chastity, why don't you now tell people which one it is?
Well, I was going to say yes, Randy. DeLorean. That night that I described was a very memorable evening that we didn't actually see on the show was with DeLorean. And that nail painting went on. She understands, Roxy. It's a connection of the souls. Everyone needs to loosen up a little bit. We had a connection. It didn't have to.
DeLorean, how could you do this to me? She's a woman.
Because I needed to know if you and I are real, Roxy. And how am I going to know that if I don't try out other people?
You're crazy.
She's crazy.
How?
Roxy, it's not just the UPS or FedEx or whatever she just said. It's the Amazon guy. It's the pool cleaner.
Well, you sanctimonious.
Somebody has to speak the truth around here. And I guess that's me.
I thought we were friends, DeLorean. Despite it all, I thought you cared. And clearly you don't.
They don't mean anything, Roxy. I just need to, you know what? I am tired of being the one that you all attack. You guys can go.
DeLorean.
It's okay, Roxy. It's okay, honey.
I'm going after her. I've been attacked far more than she has.
Loretta, did you know?
It's okay, honey. Don't even let that disturb you. You're a beautiful young lady with the world ahead of you. As they say, the world is your clam, and there's so much ahead of you, dear.
Now, ladies, I think we're going to be able to bring the camera over to where those two ladies went to. So why don't we just quiet down and let's see if we can eavesdrop on the conversation. Hopefully Chastity will be able to talk DeLorean into coming on back to the show here.
You're ruining your makeup, dear. You're gorgeous. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Chastity, you didn't have to tell the truth right then and there. We had a pact. You knew I didn't want to hurt Roxy, and that was just going to devastate her. You and I mean nothing to each other. It was just an experiment.
I know we didn't mean anything to each other. I thought that if she understood that your connection with her actually meant something because you tried with so many people, that it would actually help. I'm trying to be helpful. Nobody ever thinks I'm trying to be helpful.
Did she look like she thought you were being helpful, you stupid?
No one ever thinks I'm being helpful. Like right now, I'm trying to be helpful. I thought we had a connection.
How are you trying to be helpful right now? Are the cameras on? Turn them off. Just turn them off.
Leave them on.
All right. Let's bring the cameras back over here to the Adirondack Fire Pit, sponsored by the Glad family of plastic products. And let's see if Chastity's going to be able to bring DeLorean back over here. I'm sure they will. Things are getting a little bit out of hand, but that's okay. I think we're going to be able to bring things together because I think it's time, Chastity, that we dealt with the elephant in the room. Karen Harrell is asking us, last season when you all traveled to Dollywood, oh, I'm sorry, not Chastity, Roxy, I meant. Last season, when you all traveled to Dollywood, Roxy, you revealed your addiction problems. How are you doing in your recovery, Roxy? And what sent you back into that spiral in the first place?
Well, thank you, Karen, for your kind question. I haven't had any plastic surgery in over a year. And what got me into my cosmetic surgery spiral was heartbreak. When I found out that DeLorean had slept with a man, and now I have this incredible urge for a nose job.
No, don't give in, Roxy. You've been wonderful. You've been doing so good.
But you slept with her, you.
I'll sleep with you if that helps.
I don't love you, Chastity.
Well, I don't love
Never
DeLorean.
All my fault.
Yes, it is.
You know,
You don't have to agree with everything I say.
But I appreciate you finally admitting it.
Roxy.
Well,
Loretta, you've been on the receiving end of betrayal. Is there anything you can say to provide a balm to some of the open wounds here?
Yes. When my husband Roger had the incident at the bowling alley with the man who rents the shoes and they put it on the local news, I had to deal with a lot of pain and betrayal because Roger, as it did turn out, had stepped over a line. He did. And we have since worked through it. But
So it
Rox,
wasn't his third strike, Loretta?
no, not
Good.
yet. He's working on his issues as well. He's got a certain uh appetite, if you will. But Roxy, don't don't let this take you down that rabbit hole of sutures and cosmetic surgery because you're just beautiful as you are.
You mean that, Loretta?
I do.
You think I'm beautiful just the way I am?
You're so beautiful just the way you are. You don't need to plump or enhance or freeze or do anything. Just that way is just lovely.
Oh, thank you so much. So I don't need to get my lips done.
Dear, no. I mean, maybe just a tad on the.
It's a little thin on this side, don't you think? Just a right there.
DeLorean, I see you trying to get in there. Are you moved by seeing Roxy in this new state of self-understanding?
I am. I just want to say to you, Roxy, that when we were in prison together and the light was shining through the prison window and the bars, it wasn't on me that it was shining. The moonlight lit up your beautiful, beautiful face, and your lovely eyes sparkled and twinkled, and your lips. I was drawn to you. All of a sudden, I felt like it was in a movie where everything fades away and all those women around me disappeared, and all I saw was you.
I love you, DeLorean.
Roxy, I love you too.
So happy.
see,
This
true
is
love conquers all.
this is very beautiful. Chastity, Gloretta, since Roxy and DeLorean seem to have found some resolution, some chance of hope and happiness together, is there anything perhaps that the two of you might learn from their example here?
I had wanted to say something, Randy.
Sure.
Loretta, I've realized that you are trying to change too much of who you are, and that's the problem. You're a wonderful person. You're the first person I was friends with in the park. You welcomed me into your home, and your husband saw outside the trailer. And I am a free spirit and free lover. I did sleep with your husband multiple times. And I just realized you have shut yourself away. You focus so much on your jewels, your enhancements, that you aren't strong enough in yourself. You hold on Roger to a tight leash as though he's some perfect being, and he's not. Let me tell you, he is not. But you could be so much stronger, and I can be there for you. I'm so sorry that I haven't appreciated this strong you inside that is crying to come out as though your mother died.
We'll all be there for you, Loretta. We'll all be there for you.
We will, and I really truly believe that Chastity was just trying to teach your husband some things that he could share with you later.
I want to bring people together in love.
Chastity, that means so much to me because I was sitting here wondering myself, what went wrong? What went wrong? Because when we first met that day, we had such a lovely encounter. And I thought, here is a lovely human being. And I said to Roger later, I said, Chastity, she's a good egg. Well, he agreed at the time, and I'm sure he still would agree. But you're absolutely right.
It's so true. Underneath that horror look of hers, there is a good person just beating inside.
You know, speaking of Roger, Gloretta, Sean Hansen wants to know, Gloretta, what are you doing now to keep things hot and spicy in the bedroom with Roger so he won't stray again?
That's a really good question. Well, one thing that I have introduced, if you will, is my line of jewelry. And I have made a line of jewelry. I have a special piece of jewelry for Roger to wear around his special parts.
Is it a ring?
It has a ring with an attachment, if you will, to an accoutrement that he finds especially pleasurable. So that is a piece of jewelry that I'm expecting to launch, if you will, someday very soon.
Well, that sounds awesome. I can't wait to buy several of those myself. You know, seeing DeLorean and Roxy come together a little bit reminds me of that time early in the season when our cameras caught Roxy and DeLorean in one of their rare happy moments. Remember, you were outside by those trees and the two of you were just enjoying each other before the hard cynicism of any betrayal set in. I wonder if we can cue up that beautiful scene just to maybe
All day. Oh yeah, I remember.
Oh, Roxy, you are so beautiful in this light. The fall foliage lights up your hair in a way that I don't think I've ever seen a more beautiful creature.
Oh, thank you. Let me come out from under this tree. I'm done peeing.
And nobody's here to see us. I feel like I can express myself to you in a way that only you will understand.
Tell me, DeLorean.
When I saw you in Windy Brook, I knew I had found my soulmate, and it was you. That's why I took you in to have chicken. It's a culture of ours. My family, when they meet their soulmate, they have rotisserie chicken. And so I thought if I took you to have a rotisserie chicken with me in that moment, that you too would understand that you are my soulmate.
DeLorean, the moment I put my mouth on that beautiful roasted breast of yours, I knew that you were not only my best friend, but my soulmate as well.
Oh, Roxy, when I ate the thigh, all I could think of was you.
And
Yeah.
then dessert, the private pastry. Oh, DeLorean, I love you.
You are the best thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life.
And
oh. Do you remember those days?
I miss those days. I miss those days.
What happened to us?
Oh.
Andy, can I just make one more confession? I'm inspired by all of the openness today. Gloretta, that wasn't my mother's recipe. I got it off of allrecipes.com. I barely know any of my mothers. I've had 10 of them. No, 11. I've had 11 mothers.
Oh dear. I thought I had tasted that before. But, oh darling, I would like to invite you to my kitchen and share my recipes with you. And if you need a mother figure, I'm happy to be there for you.
Oh, well, this is all wrapping up so beautifully, but if we allowed part one of our reunion show to end happily, why would anybody come back for part two? And that's why, as sorry as I am to do this, after that beautiful scene between Roxy and DeLorean by those trees, and Roxy went away, Well, yes, DeLorean, we kept the camera on you and we heard you deliver what could only be described as a villain's monologue. So sorry to bring this up after such a tender moment, but we're going to have to cue that one last clip of DeLorean by those trees just after Roxy walked away. And we're going to show everybody what DeLorean had to say when Roxy was no longer listening.
Thanks, Randy, you. She's gone. Stupid. I can't stand her. She makes my skin crawl. But I need to get out of Windy Brook. I need to get out of here. Everybody hates me here. She's my only way out. I know it. I'll follow her and I'll make her believe that I love her. What can I do? How can I look? Oh, I think I've got her. I think it was the chicken. She believed every stupid word I said. Oh, she makes my skin crawl. All I need is a FedEx package and I'll feel better. As soon as I get to the trailer park, I'll order some things from Amazon. That's what I'll do.
And well, there it is, like a bomb in the middle of the Garden of Eden.
Where is she? Where'd she go?
She's hiding her head in shame behind the garbage bag.
Was she better?
Oh, Randy, I can't believe you would do that to me.
Roxy, what are you holding there, Roxy?
No,
Roxy!
No,
no,
No, anymore.
grab it from her.
No.
give me that.
Loretta!
I knew the camera was on me. Don't you get it, Roxy?
My friends, please, we have no time to hash this out now. But we'll have a full hour to dig back in next week's Real Housewives of Trailer Park County reunion show, part 2. That is our show, ladies and gentlemen and friends. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm not Randy Crowan, really. I'm Ken Adams, and I'm the artistic director of Synergy Theater. This was our world debut of the Real Housewives of Trailer Park County reunion show, conceived and directed by Nikki Vilas, who plays DeLorean Gray for us. Thank you so much for bringing this awesome show to our company. On the count of 3, let's give the audience a great big bow. 1, 2, 3. Gloretta is played by Eileen Tumlin. Roxy is played by Lynn Shields. And Chastity is played by Lauren Bambauer. And we are so delighted to have this beautiful cast here. Thank you all so much. Great job. Folks out there, Synergy Theater provides free online improvised theater every Thursday night at 6 o'clock and Friday at 7 o'clock. Please come back. We're here each weekend and we want to entertain you. Next week, we have this show again on Thursday, so come back and see part 2. We're really going to do it. Part 2, what happens with DeLorean and Roxy, and how do Chastity and Gloretta fare. Find out. Come back next week. On Friday next week, we're bringing back Eileen's show, Cabin Pressure, an improvised airline disaster. We debuted that last night. It was an absolute riot. Please come back next week and watch both of those shows again. All new, all improvised, all based on your suggestions. Synergy Theater also teaches improvisation classes online. If you think what we're doing is fun, it is. And if you would like to try it, you can. Go to synergytheater.com, click on click on School of Improvisation, and take a class with Synergy Theater. Also, Synergy Theater is a nonprofit 501c3 charitable organization. We always rely on the generosity of our patrons to help us bring our programs to the world. Now more than ever, we can use your help so that we can keep bringing free entertainment for as long as we're all trapped inside together. If you can, please go to synergytheater.com, click on Support Synergy Theater. Any amount of money you can offer us at this time would help a great deal. My friends, thank you for being here tonight. We will see see you again. Stay safe, stay happy, and always remember that Synergy Theater loves you. Bye-bye.